Thanks so much for being with us here on Atlanta News First Plus. So, as you can see, I've got the radar up for Monday because there is a first alert weather day that we are expecting, and I want to let you know that first alert meteorologist JD Disharoon is going to be joining you for a stream at 8 p.m. to break down everything that you can expect for that first alert weather day for Monday, and that's definitely something on our radar, quite literally, as you can see. But the other thing that is really making headlines, around the country, not just here in Atlanta, is what's happening with March Madness, of course. And it's really been a huge boost for our local economy here. And I apologize. I'm just trying to multitask, so I apologize for the little pause there. But, tonight we've got both Elite 8 games of the men's NCAA tournament airing on Atlanta News First. Just a reminder for any of the fans out there that are interested in catching that. But, for downtown businesses in Atlanta, college basketball fans really have been front and center all throughout this weekend for March Madness. Really big boost to the local economy. Economists projecting these 3 NCAA tournament games generating around $35 billion for Atlanta's economy. So that's really great news to be able to report to you guys. We're going to have much more on that, breaking down the latest with Atlanta News First reporter Blake Devine coming up at 10 p.m. on Peachtree TV, and our, of course, 11 p.m. newscast on WANF as well. So hope that you'll join us for that. Well, let's also talk about the death of an Atlanta rapper, something that has really captured a lot of attention on social media. The hip hop community here in Atlanta mourning the death of young Scooter tonight after really a very bizarre and shocking encounter with police. Atlanta News First reporter Bridget Spencer clears up some of the confusion surrounding his death.
Dead after a police encounter that led to a freak accident. It all started at this home on William Nye Drive in Southeast Atlanta.
Officers responded to a dispute with a weapon. It was advised in the call remarks that shots were fired and a female was dragged back into the location.
Officers say a man opened and immediately shut the door. They say that's when 2 men darted out of the back door.
One male returned back into the house. The other male jumped 2 fences as he was fleeing.
Police say that was Bailey.
I'm not sure how he injured himself, but he's bleeding bad.
This appears that there was, when he fell, some type of fracture injuries to the leg, which caused the bleeding.
Lieutenant Andrew Smith says he wants it clear that at no point did officers shoot or use any weapon. Bailey was known in the Atlanta rap world and was even featured on tracks alongside Future and Gucci Mane. He was 39 years old.
And our Bridget Spencer reporting there. Now, we have asked Atlanta police to see the body cam video to get a better understanding of exactly what happened in this case. Of course, we're going to keep you posted with the latest information here on Atlanta News First, atlantanewsfirst.com, and our free mobile news app as well. Okay, let's talk about the situation with the unhoused population here in the Atlanta area. Obviously, a lot of concern given recent events, including the death of Cornelius Taylor during a homeless encampment sweep. And one group is working to redevelop South Downtown, and they're really worried about Atlanta's homeless solution. Atlanta News First senior reporter Patrick Quinn learned that they think the city is using a one-size-fits-all approach.
Tonight, the group trying to build up South Downtown says right now there are 1,500 people here within a 1-mile radius who are not just homeless, they're in crisis. They're battling substance abuse or mental illness. Sometimes they're naked or defecating on the street or publicly using drugs. The new push tonight, to better help those unhoused, you have to better define their needs.
This issue has always been the elephant in the room, and I think it's been ignored for far too long.
Brianna Jackson, CEO of the newly established Heart of South Downtown nonprofit, sees what many of you see when coming to downtown Atlanta. People battling substance abuse and mental illness.
In order for Atlanta to rise as the great city that we want it to be, we have to ensure that we are helping our most vulnerable.
Right now, the city says there are 3,000 homeless people in Atlanta on a given night. And a growing number of them, roughly 40%, are facing these long-term disabling conditions. This month, CEO of Soto Atlanta, the group working to revitalize 10 city blocks, wrote this letter calling for the city to better support this crisis population. Brianna agrees, and with the World Cup coming to Atlanta next year, she doesn't want to see these folks uprooted. She wants to see them uplifted. But how the city helps, she believes, needs to change.
The individuals that are in our streets right now are not housing ready.
I took these concerns to the city. Yes, Atlanta has a housing first model that leaders say has proven to work. And these individuals in so-called crisis are top of mind.
No, that's our number one priority. I mean, we are actively funding a supportive housing pipeline.
Catherine Vassell, CEO of Partners for Home, the main agency overseeing the city's approach to ending homelessness, said just today, as part of 2026 budget talks in the state legislature, $750,000 of state funding was stripped for dedicated Atlanta street teams with psychiatric experience.
The reality is we are maximizing every penny and resource that we have, which is very limited, to get folks off the street and into housing, but we need more.
The city says they're trying to scramble right now to get some of that state funding back, to get more boots on the ground here in downtown Atlanta. Now, maybe a positive sign. Just within the last couple of months, the city opened a diversion center. It's a place to take some of these individuals that's not a jail. I'm told just in the last 2 months, they've already helped 200 people. From downtown Atlanta, Patrick Quinn, Atlanta News First.
You know, President Donald Trump's new tariffs on foreign cars are supposed to start this week. Atlanta News First reporter Madeline Montgomery shows us the media campaign Canada is now doing in response to all the tariffs.
I mean, I was a little surprised. I was just driving into Emory, and I saw it was a digital billboard. It said something to the effect of tariffs are a tax on your groceries, and it was brought to you by the government of Canada. And so I was like, wow, that's an interesting little take.
A surprising message over Metro Atlanta. Tariffs are a tax. Some signs saying on groceries, some saying at the gas pump, but all saying paid for by the government of Canada.
People watching us right now in the States are the only ones that can really influence what's going on in the White House, because ultimately they're the first victims.
The United States and Canada are currently in what some economists would call a trade war since President Donald Trump proposed 25% tariffs on the country. Canada responded with a threat to implement nearly $21 billion in retaliatory tariffs.
For another government to reach out to consumers directly, I think is a fairly novel approach. So I don't know. I thought it was interesting for sure.
Not everyone is receptive to the message.
For Canada to make that statement, it really shows their lack of respect to America.
Or thinks it's the best way to make a point.
I think it's interesting. Obviously they have a message they want to send. I guess they thought that's the best way to do it. Today, I'm not sure if that's the best way. I mean, there's lots of social media.
But they certainly have people talking.
Anytime you can have a dialogue about economic policy, especially economic policy that hits consumers right in their wallet, I think it's valuable to have that dialogue.
Madeline Montgomery, Atlanta News First.
All right, baseball fans, your Atlanta Braves playing their home opener this week. The Miami Marlins coming to town on Friday night. You can watch all the action over on Peachtree TV thanks to a partnership with our parent company, Gray Media. First pitch at 7:15 p.m. Before the Braves started their season in San Diego, Atlanta News First reporter Josh Skinner learned whether Braves win or lose, the baseball card business is booming.
Cards HQ isn't usually short of cards.
We keep all of our Atlanta cards over here. As you can see, we had a crazy weekend.
The last weekend before opening day saw an influx of collectors.
Everyone's gearing up for baseball season.
Snatching up investments on the Braves roster. Ryan Van Oost manages the world's largest card shop.
I tried to walk around yesterday. I couldn't even walk around.
Baseball cards, especially high-value ones, fly off shelves. Many times it's collectors vying for the next generation.
This is the first card that was ever produced of Nacho Alvarez.
$5,000 seem a bit steep for a guy with 30 career at-bats. He's not even the most sought-after Brave. That honor goes to Drake Baldwin, who has played a grand total of 0 Major League games.
Everyone's looking for the Baldwin kid. He's about to be a catcher, the starting catcher for the season because of some injuries. and we actually sold out of him, so we don't have any left.
The trading card industry is booming. A Pittsburgh Pirates Paul Skeens card recently sold at auction for $1.11 million. He's pitched in 23 career games.
Some kid hit it in California, ended up selling it for $1.1 million.
This Skeens card is going for a measly $2,100. The investments can often be swing and miss, but this isn't just about one plate appearance. These guys are playing the long game.
I mean, I'm banking on it. Who needs a 401k when we got sports cards?
And more on that and all of our top stories on AtlantaNewsFirst.com and our free mobile news app. Also, just a reminder, we do have our eyes on this First Alert Weather Day for tomorrow. Really encourage you, if you haven't done so yet, download our free weather app, Atlanta News First, our First Alert Weather app. And again, like I mentioned before, at 8 p.m., First Alert meteorologist J.D. Distroon is going to join you and break down everything you need to know. But if you can't wait until then and you're always checking the weather like me, please download our First Alert weather app. You can even sign up to get alerts on severe weather sent right to your phone and adjust it to your own location with your zip code. Thanks so much for joining us. Now back to local news.